Hello, welcome to Relatively Ordinary. I'm Betsy.
I'm Karl.
The Sear clan.
The Sear clan.
We're back at it. It's been a couple of weeks.
Indeed.
We were on vacation, hence the tan.
Very tan.
I put on, for the record, as much sunblock as my sisters, who are much paler than me. It's just something in the blood. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But there's something in the blood. Me and my mom, we just tan right up.
Yeah.
So it's a little darker than I would actually personally want to be. But I was, you just out and about in the sun a lot when you're down at the Jersey Shore.
That's the only way to roll, the Jersey Shore.
The dirty Jers.
Yep.
Yep. So that was fun.
Yeah, it was good.
A little hiatus because of that. And then, busy week. What else is new?
I mean, we've kind of crested the peak of summer break.
Mm-hmm.
And now
the kids are panicking.
Rolling back towards school.
The boy child's, a little going into a little bit of a depression.
Yeah, there's some denial happening.
Where the girl child's excited, like, oh, let's get school supplies.
Yep.
Let's confirm my schedule with my friends. I bet her backpack's already packed.
Could be.
Good big. You have to share your big news. Number 1 draft pick in the 45 plus men's league.
Okay, that's not. First of all,
oh, did I just embarrass you? Or is that not public knowledge?
It's not public knowledge.
Oh,
it hasn't happened yet.
Oh no! Oh no! So you might not. Is this like false promise, or do we need to stop recording because I just like cat out of the bag?
I mean, it's between slightly and very embarrassing that you just said that, but we'll roll with it. Yeah. So I am likely going to play 45 plus baseball next year, and it's possible that I am the first pick chosen.
Don't be embarrassed by that.
This is very embarrassing.
Flex. I think you should flex.
No, I don't want to. It's not a flex. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that I told you. It's embarrassing you just told the podcast.
I'm sorry. Okay, if it makes you feel better, today we had a field hockey tournament. It was our 3rd year in this tournament, my club of ladies. And we got number 1 for the first time. We have gotten in 2nd place the previous 2 years. And it came down to one-on-one versus the goalie. So I forget what they call it. It's basically like
shootout.
Shootout, yes. There's a term for it. I always forget it. But came down to a shootout, which sucks. Even after double overtime play. And we're so exhausted. And what stood out to me is that when we were going to play our second game, so our playoff game against them, one of the girls on the other team, and I say girl, said that she was 17. I don't know why. I think it was an intimidation tactic. No one asked her age that I was aware of. And then one of her teammates said, oh, I just turned 20 recently. And I was like, huh. Well, if we add up your 2 ages, I'm actually older than that combined. So let's see how this goes. And then we dominated 5-3. I'm not embarrassed by that. I'm proud.
I'm glad that you.
Loud and proud. I'm going to be talking about redemption. That was our redemption tour.
Girl.
It's work smarter, not harder. My VO2 max is still good enough to crush them and their spirits.
Yeah,
it was a friendly game. That was a friendly game, but I think they were a little miffed. And mind you, most of the women on that team played for collegiate level. That's how they know each other. Collegiate level, Division 3. I don't know, but either way, I mean, we have someone on our team who is in her 50s. Just saying. So, yeah, does that make you feel better about your draft pick?
It's weird. Let's not talk about it.
Okay. Gosh, I mean, you're so sensitive.
Well, I'm like excited to play more baseball.
Great. No, I think it's good. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I won't mention it again.
So,
are you giving me dagger eyes?
No, just
you can say something to embarrass me. Give it. Okay.
You'll say something to embarrass yourself eventually.
Oh. Ooh, sick burn. Sure.
So my quick bite question
Okay.
for the week is, what is something that makes you feel dumb? Like just
Mm.
something that you don't understand and you're like frustrated with yourself for not being able to understand it, but it just kind of makes you feel dumb.
I mean, there's many things on that list. Like
Just pick one.
I'm gonna probably say at least two, maybe three.
Okay.
Okay, just be patient with me. Well, the first thing, and like I shouldn't feel dumb about this, is like the kids will banter and then they'll say like, "Oh, mom, are you a this or do you know about that?" And I'm like, "No," and I think I approximate it, and then they laugh at me and they move on, and I still don't know what the hell it means and if it matters. So it makes you feel dumb because you're on the
So,
outer circle
yep.
of the you know teenager generation pop culture language slang. Right. I shouldn't feel dumb about that.
I mean, they're solidly teenagers. I don't think they're using
Dude.
tweenager slang.
Okay. Okay. Oh, should I drop the tweenager? Was that my own dumb slang? Uh, Secondly, I am, entering this era of my life where I, get a brain fog
Mm,
once in an every day, and I will forget simple things, right? Or like I think I'm actively listening to something and I'll be like, "Oh, I missed that. Can you repeat that entire thing?" Or, I just met you and you told me your name 3 seconds ago. I'm like,
yeah.
hell if I remember. So that's very frustrating. It hasn't affected my work though. I think my, you know, wisdom and sort of solidified working knowledge for my job is pretty secure for now. So, and I think I also feel dumb when, I think I'm like a gear up for something. I think like, oh my God, this is going to be a high cognitive load. I got to read these instructions or like how to, install or do this thing. And, or it's like IKEA furniture, like you're going to put something together. I'm like, I'm going to really focus because I don't want to screw this up. And I think I nailed it and I get all the things tightened and I look at it. I'm like, God damn it.
Why are there all these extra screws?
Yes, exactly. And then I feel really dumb because you feel this like you've reached this level of success and you conquered it and then you realize you screwed it up.
I mean, putting together a piece of furniture like that, like, while not, you know, not like a real challenge of mastery, it's still an accomplishment. When you
Yes.
put something together like that, that's an
Yeah.
accomplishment. You got
I'll
to
tell you
pat
when
yourself
I've
on the back.
done it because I don't think I've done it yet. It's like when I had to put together that stupid caddy for the pool vacuum thing and I'm on like
Yeah.
the final step. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
And I did it wrong.
Yep.
Who knew there were 3 different ways to make that thing
And then
based on?
I put it together in about
Yes.
4 minutes.
Thank God. Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I appreciate that. That's when I walk away pissed off. I'm glad I'm married.
hmm
Yeah. How about you?
Chemistry.
Chemistry is when you feel dumb?
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the pool chemicals.
Yeah.
Yeah. All you got to do is a little dash of this and that and nothing explodes and move
Yeah. I don't know if that's the way to do it either, but
on.
yeah.
Yeah. Chemistry. Although chemistry, it's like math, it's very formulaic. But what I like about chemistry is it's a little more tangible.
Yeah. If you say so.
Okay. That was a pregnant pause. All right. Do you want to elaborate on the chemistry or it's just that's it?
No, that's it. I mean,
Okay.
I wasn't a very good chemistry student in high school, and
Yeah.
I guess it stuck with me.
So one thing I have
Although
on you.
I did get I I did help our son out with his chemistry homework,
Yeah.
and
I
I
didn't
learned a lot in the process. So
I didn't have a ton of
I filled
patience
in
for
some
that.
of those gaps from my own 10th grade chemistry.
Good. Good. Yeah, I don't know if I could rehash my high school chemistry, but okay. Are you ready for today's topic?
Yes.
Okay. So this one I was kind of going back and forth. Do I want to be this? Do I want to be that? I thought I can make it both. So it's primarily about compromise, but rooted in that is decision making, right? So to come to decisions, which we make many, many, many of them every day, we have to often compromise with ourselves, compromise with our peers, household, all that. it also, we've been dealing with this prolonged stalled negotiation shit show dealing with the Strait of Hormuz.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And so with that ever-present topic in the political scene, there was also situations with like the ACA, Affordable Care Act subsidies, or which was that like 9 months, a year ago? I don't even remember, in Congress, and just not willing to compromise. And so I thought, this could be an interesting topic to kind of pull apart. And, at least in my work world, there are some things where we need to have a vote on. That's just sort of policy in the department. But then there are other things where I feel like we could just pull things apart and litigate it to what end? And so it's like, is compromise always a good thing? So I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. Are you ready? Feel ready?
I know what compromise is. Let's go.
Okay, you know what compromise. So let's think about big picture here. And, if we think globally, nationally, all those things, it seems like compromise is a dirty word right now, in American politics specifically. But, the sense that it, we just have to stick with our guns and not compromise, and both through and push forward and lie and cheat and steal to get our agenda met. So has it always been that way? Like, do you feel like compromise has always been this dirty word? And you know I don't know. Let's just start with that. What's your opinion on that?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, I think we've talked about the yin and the yang, the push and the pull, and sometimes those patterns kind of swing back and forth on the pendulum overall in society. And I think, uh, I think more so on the right, but certainly on the right and the left of the political spectrum in this country, there are people who absolutely dig in their heels and don't want to compromise, and they see compromise as weakness.
Yes.
And they see it as, giving up your values or whatever. And I think that's a extremely dangerous mindset for anyone to have, because I think ultimately, frankly, most things in life are not worth fighting over. Like, there are very few things that are worth fighting over. And you have to know what those are and have some boundaries and principles around them. And that's where like the legal system comes in, and that's where politics comes in. But when people choose to like, put the line in the sand and fight over something that's just not worth fighting over, like, not only do you lose all perspective and reality of humanity and our own survival as a species, but you just like, you're not making things better. Like, digging in your heels and fighting over stupid things adds no value to anybody. People do it, I think, maybe for their own ego, maybe for like, these deep down beliefs, but like, what does it really get you to just fight over dumb things?
Well, and that makes me think about the importance of negotiation, and like healthy negotiation is really sharing. It's not just opinions, but here's the data, and like, what do we have a shared goal, and what is our purpose here? And I think when you draw a line in the sand, it's harder to be an active listener, to be questioning, to think about how you might shift your perspective, and therefore, be able to come to a compromise more easly. I mean, have we lost the ability to do that as humans?
No, we definitely have not lost the ability to do it. I think we've, as a culture, for whatever reason, Americans don't, and it's obviously in everybody, but I think like in our culture, there's like this feeling of, if we sacrifice, if we, we're the best. We're the top dog. So like if we're compromising, it's weakening our position as the eminent leadership. And I
And is that ultimately important? And what really does is how can we actually verify that? If we
yeah,
want,
it's a myth. It's a
yeah.
total myth.
And if our goal is to live in a peaceful society where most people, if not all people, can thrive,
Well,
it's safe
whose
and
goal is that?
secure. No, but I think if you were to
I mean, that's
ask,
my goal. I'd love that,
yeah,
but
I would say if you said presented this like, is this a goal of humanity, right? Then it could be a universal purpose.
I think most people would probably agree with something like that.
Yeah.
I think the problem is when you have a political power structure that aligns with naked ambition, you're going to have,
Naked ambition.
yeah,
What does that mean to you?
it's a, I mean, it's a phrase. I didn't invent the phrase. It's just like your ambition trumps everything. Like you know, you look at like what we seem to value as a culture, it's sort of unquestioned. Well, in this podcast, I've kind of, like I walk a fine line because I don't want to bash. I do want to bash Elon Musk. He's a douche, but like, like the Mark Zuckerbergs, like I don't love Zuckerberg, Bezos, all that, but like their ambition is largely a good thing. Like this is where capitalism works, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also like when you get people who at some point it just turns from like I want to create value for people and build a company and make money and create
Mm-hmm.
value for society to just like I want to collect everything and have all the power and
Mm-hmm.
be completely un checked by anybody else's rules,
Mm-hmm.
laws, norms, whatever. And just like, I don't give a shit about anybody else. I just want that power for myself.
Yeah.
And I think that like the way that our capitalist economy works and the way our political structure works, people who have that mindset gravitate towards it. So when you see things that like, to me, it's like absolutely unconscionable that like there's so many like we talk about the senators and Congress people and obviously the executive branch is winning. They're the MVPs of the like grift game and
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
insider trading and all of that.
Yeah.
But like it's unconscionable to me. Like I can't, you know, if there was an opportunity for me to like steal pens and embezzle $10 from the town, I wouldn't do it because it's wrong, right? And
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you contrast that with somebody who's just like, you know what, like this is a way I can make a lot of money and have a lot of power and a lot of influence, and I'm just going to do it. So it's hard when that's for whatever reason. I mean, ultimately, there's a certain amount of people that are going to do whatever it takes to get into power. And if you don't set up your political system to keep those people in check, they will run rampant and they'll take it over. And these are the people that one of the qualities they have is to not compromise.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that brings up another question I have or something to talk about is money and the influence of, PAC money and, supporting our political leaders to get, because it doesn't come down to the people voting at this point. I feel like the whole thing is screwy with, here's a lump of money and we're gonna like, did you see the latest about Troy Jackson? And like that bringing up a physical assault when he was 19, which by the way,
Yeah.
what young man has not punched someone when they were
Yeah. I mean, if you're like MAGA people, that's,
it's like,
ooh,
oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Who did
yeah,
Susan Collins?
oh yeah. But now they're trying to bring up things about him assaulting his wife, and I mean, we knew something like this would happen,
Sure.
but they're just dumping money and throwing ads out there, and I see probably more ads of related to that than anything in support, just because it's
Yeah.
across
Well,
various media.
there's a lot of Elon Musk money
Yeah,
in those ads.
exactly. And so, because donors are expecting purity, like you're going to ride this line and do what you need to do for me if I get you elected, and
Yeah.
does that affect someone's ability to compromise?
Yeah. I mean, totally. It's certainly impacted Susan Collins' ability to be an effective representative of people in Maine.
Mhm.
Like, she is overall. I won't bash on Susan Collins. Like, I think overall she's been a responsible senator. She has a
Mhm.
pretty good track record. I think she's a good person.
The
But I also,
latest on the vaccinations has been good because she's just saying, like, nope, Maine's going to do it how we've
yeah,
been doing it.
yeah, and she does like she is the least worst
Yes.
Republican right now,
Hmm.
but she's still a Republican, and still when that faction needs her vote, she almost always delivers.
Yeah.
When they don't need her vote, like with
Yeah. Yeah.
the Todd Blanche
Hmm.
confirmation, they didn't need her vote,
No,
so
she's
she
like, oh,
voted
okay.
against it.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
she's trying to play the middle here in Maine and appeal to the fact that the vast majority of people do not want a crook to be the crook's
Hmm.
personal attorney.
Yes.
But, um, you know, this whole thing doesn't happen. We aren't where we are today if she had stood up sooner and more effectively. So
Yeah.
it's time for a change.
Well, and the last question I have related to this topic is the influence of social media. I mean, does the need to win and showcase that to everyone, Trump coming up with something that you've like judiciously discussed and have real data and science to back it up and listening to opinions on both sides to really,
Yeah,
come to a good resolution rather than have an argument and be like, I won this.
it's a good question. I actually think social media, like, not, I mean, more generally, I don't want to say social media because I think that implies different things in different contexts, but like maybe more generally, the new internet based media where you have, a lot more content creators, whether
Mhm.
it's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, whatever. You can just represent a broader, there's more voices out there.
Mhm.
Like our voices out there. Not that anyone listens to it, but we're out
Oh,
there.
oh, there's a
So
lot who listen.
7 or 8 people out there listening, getting their news from us.
I hope they're not.
Um, 2 weeks late. Uh, but no, I actually think that, like, I think we do, like television was actually easier to, which is why Trump loves television, right? Like, I think television was actually easier to sort of like show up in this like very, like, we're only ever going to show the good side of this person, or like,
Mhm.
the side that they want you to
Yeah, the
see.
cultivated
And
side.
yeah, and I think it's harder to do that in a world where there's more opinions, there's more perspectives. I
Mhm.
think actually, like,
And everyone has a camera.
it will, there's a lot of downsides to that, but I think it also like brings out more of the, like, humanity, where
Mhm.
it's like actually a person, there's no person that just has this like perfect life where they're always good at everything. Like, there's ups and downs, and
Mhm.
sometimes you fail and sometimes you do dumb things. And, it's like what we talked about with Graham Plattner, where it was like the fact that like he had done some dumb things in the past and was like copping to it and being open about it was like, that's attractive. Right. And
Yeah.
then, it got to a point where it's like, okay, what else are we going to find out about you, Graham? Like, cause
Mhm.
it gets worse and worse every time you tell us there's nothing more. So,
Yeah.
but like, it's harder to hide from that. Like, there's still a bunch of scumbags out there trying to, outrun their bad press. But like, I do think there's more scrutiny and more visibility. I think it's harder to hide, like, you know, you're truly a scumbag.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
So now, kind of shifting gears, you work in teams, you've worked in teams, in your career for a long time. Was there ever a time where you sought compromise and it actually didn't have a good outcome?
Mm. I might have to. I'm gonna have to think on specific examples, but
Okay.
I will say that for me personally, compromise is my strength.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, one thing that I definitely discovered early in managing and leading teams is that like there's times when you don't compromise. There's times when it needs to be sort of like your way or the highway.
Mm-hmm.
So I think certainly there were times when I gave certain people more leeway than, you know, I think I work best with the people who I know that they're going to do the job if I leave the room and I'm not watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to build teams with those people and hire those people as much as possible. But some people don't do anything unless you're on their ass.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, you know, they can do great work, but it's like literally like if you're not kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
giving them clear direction and holding them accountable, they inevitably slide, you know, kind of backslide into like, man, he's not paying attention, doesn't matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I certainly have struggled at times with people like that to managing them effectively. And you know, if it gets really bad, it can be hard because, you know, if you weren't setting clear expectations, you know, then it's not easy to hold them accountable retroactively if you ever get to a point where you're like, this isn't working and I've got to fire this person,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Well, and you're talking about from a managerial perspective, have, there ever been a time where you've been on a team as a contributor and you saw like, okay, we're all, throwing our ideas in there and coming up with suggestions and discussing the problem and you come to a compromise. You're
Yeah.
like, ooh,
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
feel good about this.
there definitely is, you know, there's a race to mediocrity that happens when nobody takes charge
Yeah.
and you don't have clear objectives for success. So, you know, there were a couple things that happened in my time on the select board where we were working on something where it became more about like certain people wanting very specific things to be included. And then other than that, everyone just trying to sort of make it go through.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you wind up with like, okay, well, these two people got their shirt, which I think probably happens in a lot of politics. I think
Oh,
it happens,
totally.
you
Yeah.
know, even when our Congress is actually effective and working the way it's supposed to, this happens, I'm sure, all the time, where it's like you've got, you know, everyone gets their little like pork barrel project in, and
Mm-hmm.
then the bill itself is a big, ugly mess and not really cohesive.
Yeah.
But, you know, a few senior influential people in exchange for their vote got, you know,
Yeah. Something out of it.
$1 million for like rehabbing grain silos in Iowa.
Pork barrel. What was that? What
Pork
did you?
barrel. Yeah. Pork barrel politics.
What is
It's,
that?
I actually don't know where the pork barrel term came from. It'd be interesting to look it up, but it's like,
Kind of sounds gross.
sure. Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's probably like going back to when you like got like barrels of
Cured.
salted
Yeah.
pork, you know?
Okay. Okay.
But basically it's just,
Oh, like you do me something good and like here's your barrel of pork.
yeah, which is,
Okay.
you know, it's a barrel of bacon. I mean, it's not a
That's
terrible thing to
great.
have.
I
Yeah,
would compromise for that a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah. No, pork barrel politics is it's a the term again. I don't know where it came from, but basically it just means that like I'm a representative and you need my vote to get this thing passed, and I'm like, well, you know, there's a bunch of bridges in my district that you know need funding. So if you fund
Hmm.
my bridges in this bill, then I'll vote for you.
Gotcha.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
Yeah. Yeah.
honestly, it's like it's messy, but that's actually it's a it's not a bad system if you
Yeah.
have proper representation and
And it's sort of a win-win. It's like I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine, or
yeah.
like, pay it forward,
I
or
mean it does lead to gigantic, complicated, bloated, you know, federal funding bills
that's true.
and
Yes.
bureaucracy and all that stuff that
On a
like
small scale. probably more doable.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Like,
it is what it is.
you'll give me a massage and then I'll let
Like,
you not fold your laundry
I would
for a
love
week.
to go back to the days when that's the problem we have in our politics, right? Like,
Yeah, no, but
not
I meant like a very small
Citizens
scale.
United and yeah.
Like, you'll do something for your coworker and then when you ask for a favor, they'll
Oh yeah,
do.
well, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah.
I'm good at like, you know, somebody asked me to do something, I got the time to do it.
Yeah.
I'll jump right on it because
Yeah.
come back later and I'm like, hey, remember I
With
did that
some
thing for you?
favors. Yes. Yeah, exactly. So then where's the line between healthy debate and compromise and what I, sort of previously mentioned in my introduction, over litigating and potentially hurting feelings because you're just, you've over discussed it.
Yeah.
And, maybe there's that one or two people who are just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like no one agrees with this. Can we just move on?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do think that it's almost impossible to get through those situations without someone taking charge and being
Yeah.
the leader in the room.
Yeah.
And so I think I actually heard I think it was Ben Affleck said this. I saw saw a clip of him speaking, and he said something that was like, craft is knowing how to do something well. Art is knowing when to stop.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I think that like in that context of a compromise, it's like, knowing when, okay, we've got 6 people trying to like come to an agreement on like, a policy document.
Mm-hmm.
And at what point can we just be like, look, this isn't perfect, but it's good enough.
Yeah.
This is not this is not the thing that we need to get stuck on. We need to get to this, like, and that's typically where there's 1 or 2 people in the group who have, a very strong feeling about something. Like, if that respecting that person's opinion matters, sometimes it doesn't, right? Sometimes it's just like, look, I know you care about that. This isn't going to make it into this policy. It is what it is, right?
Well, and sometimes when you plug one hole, you create a mess somewhere else. So,
Yeah.
like you take something that should be clear and simple, and maybe there's, something that's going to affect that it doesn't work in a certain situation. You'll problem solve that later, likely. But you can't have the document be 10 times as long and overcomplicated because then you lose the utility of it.
Right.
So I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have the art of like take leadership and let's move on. I definitely have I'm zoning out because this is going nowhere.
Yeah.
And
well,
I don't think it matters anymore.
Here's the other thing that happens in organizations is like, and I used to be the guy who, if there was a vacuum, like a power vacuum, decision making power in a room, I would move to fill it. I was like, this needs to happen.
I don't know what I'm picturing. Like, I'm picturing a vacuum, like a literal on high power. And then, well, at first I was picturing like a closed environment. No, I
don't do good with metaphors.
No, at first I was picturing the metaphor of a vacuum, like being in the vacuum of space. Like there's nothing influencing this. And then you said a high power vacuum, and then I went straight to the Dyson, the machine. I was like, yeah, he's got a Dyson for power vacuuming. Where the hell were you doing that?
I don't know how we get through these conversations.
So clarify what you mean by...
Well, a power vacuum is just like, there's nobody, if we walk into a room and it's like the CEO, 2 VPs and 4 directors, like we know who's making the decision.
Okay, that's a power vacuum.
But if we go in,
no, that's
not a power vacuum. Okay. The power is going to the CEO.
Oh, gotcha.
But if we walk in,
maybe he's the power vacuum.
We're all like you, right?
Like vacuuming you with power.
This is just terrible.
What's a power vacuum? Give me the parallel power vacuum.
Well, you get together with like 3, professors who are at your level. You have the same role in the college.
Okay.
Nobody has like ownership over this task or
Gotcha.
whatever. It's like if you walk into a room and it's your job, like your boss has
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
Betsy, your job is to write this policy and get approval from people.
Gotcha.
That's a different situation
Yes.
than, hey guys, figure out this policy,
Okay. So it's
right?
a power vacuum when you have equal standing. Like,
Yeah. And
let's make it even simpler. Me and three girlfriends are trying to decide where to go to dinner.
yeah, that's social things are great example because there's no natural, if you said, girls, we're going out for dinner. This is our thing. Like you're taking the lead, right?
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
you like you just all are on a text thread and it's like, oh, this is a good idea. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know how that goes, right? If somebody
Yeah.
doesn't take initiative to say like, okay, we've beat this to death. You're gluten free. You don't like fish. We're
Mhm.
going here.
Okay.
Take it or leave it, right?
Okay. So a power vacuum can actually lead to prolonged decision making potentially.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody doesn't, and again, you don't necessarily need like someone to be the strong leader. You just need someone to be like,
Yeah, take
okay,
charge.
we've got 60 minutes to make a decision here.
Yeah.
At the end of the 60 minutes, we are making a
Oh,
decision.
that's my younger
Keep
sister.
them on track.
Like between the four of us,
Yeah,
that's my sister.
but I think she'd also
We
get to like the 58th minute and be like, okay, you guys suck. This is
yeah,
my decision.
I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go eat.
yeah,
Yes. And I don't actually I would say it's probably not a power vacuum because
yeah.
she's the literal
Right.
powered
But
vacuum.
there are people who do that well. So
Yeah.
even if they don't have any like implicit or explicit authority, they just look and they're like, I know you clowns aren't going to make a decision, so I'm going to drive it, which is great. Like a lot of times, sometimes they can be real arrogant a-holes, but like 9 times out of 10, you need that person.
Yeah.
You just need
Yeah.
that person to walk in and be like, this is what we're doing. Okay, cool.
This is a good segue. Who wears the pants in our family? Or are we a power vacuum?
I mean, um,
Why are you laughing?
I'm like, do you even know what wears the pants means from a metaphor perspective?
Yes, like
Afraid,
who
I'm afraid you might have got this
no,
wrong.
no, no. It's like who's the leader? I
Well,
mean,
we
it's misogynistic,
we talked
right?
about,
We're talking about like a man wears the pants,
well, I mean,
but it's like the
not really. If
decision
you say a
making, the
woman
leader.
wears the pants,
I
then
mean, I am wearing pants. I wear pants a lot.
yeah.
I actually don't like skirts or dresses
Well,
that much.
we talked about this.
Did I get the metaphor wrong?
No, I'm teasing you because
Okay.
you've gotten every other metaphor wrong.
Oh, don't you can't tease me when I get it right because I get so confused. Damn it.
No, you got it right. You
Thank
got it
you.
right.
Thank you. God damn it.
No, I mean, I think we talked about this recently because I think we definitely like
We exchange
negotiate.
pants.
Yeah, we negotiate who has the pants for
Or
certain
maybe we
things.
co-pant.
Um,
We're co-parenting and co-panting.
but like we talked about it when we went hiking
Mm.
and we went down a wrong trail and we had like it wasn't a big deal at all. It was like, we hiked.
We got lucky.
Yeah, I mean,
Ish.
it wasn't like we were at the top of Everest making critical life or death decisions, right?
I
It
would
was
have
like,
prepared better.
yeah, it was we ended up walking an extra like 2 miles in a direction we didn't want to
In
walk.
like
Yeah.
1,000 feet of elevation.
Yeah.
Up
And it
and down.
probably it cost us, some time later in the day,
I
but
think it cost us ascending another 4,000-foot peak,
that
which
I've
made me a
already
little
hiked up.
sad.
So
What? That's so selfish.
yeah. But
But in the long run, I think that was better for, our son to not have to.
you are like secretly a peak bagger.
I'm totally
You're a peak bagger.
Yeah, but not in a way that I'm like keeping track.
Yeah, you say that.
Or
now,
is
but
that a
this is-
metaphor for
this-
something?
this-
What's a peak bagger? I'm lost.
someone who bags peaks. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I'll
Got
stop.
off track. Okay.
Stop using
Okay.
terminology.
What are
enough.
okay?
No, anyway.
So
No, but no. Listen,
oh,
listen.
okay.
The,
Okay.
the the hiking thing was a good example because basically what happened was like I was deferring to you on where we're going, but I thought we were going down. I thought I understood
How to get to the
we were
trail.
going this one place. So I
Well,
just
and I
ambled down and then
kinda-
you kind of took my lead and were like,
Yeah.
oh, he knows where he's going.
Yeah.
And so we didn't talk about it. And I was actually like in that I was kind of counting on you, but I didn't tell
And the
you. Yeah,
signage wasn't
decided it wasn't
super
great. So
helpful. Yeah.
it was an easy mistake to make. But it's a good example of that, like because I was kind of deferring to you in the overall picture where we're going, and you were deferring to me in like,
Mhm.
well, he walked that way, so we're all going that way, and
Yeah.
then we, end up walking 2 miles down the wrong trail.
Well, and the funny thing is, at one point, our son and I got ahead of you, and I was like, "Oh, Dad, like the first date, and gotta, gotta feel over prepared and worried about all the little things. Like, come on, let's just keep walking. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine." And then I'm like, "Well, maybe he has a point."
Yeah, because I was looking at the
Yeah, yeah. I didn't have
direction,
that data.
and
Yeah, I didn't
you
have the
know,
data.
it didn't make
We'll
sense if we were
figure it
going
out.
downhill,
Yeah,
and
a lot.
yeah,
But I think the way we repaired that situation is also pretty good. We're like, okay, well, this is our new route, so let's
yeah.
make the most of it. So I guess that leads to my next question. Like, what are some of the strategies we use as a family to compromise on a big decision? I don't know if I'm a gut intuition type person, and then I just tell you, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna
Well,
listen, think
yeah,
about it,
I
weigh the
think
pros and cons.
I think some of the vacations that we've gone on,
Mm-hmm.
um, I am like watching the budget and making sure, we have the funds to like, are we gonna be a little more conservative? Are we gonna, do that trip that we've always talked about doing?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you are more like, we're not going to be here forever, so let's do this freaking trip. And I think it's a good balance for us because, um,
Well,
you
you're
know,
a very, I mean, in fact, because we use a tool, an AI tool that helps us kind of stay organized for the podcast rather. And it was interesting because I was using it to kind of like populate some things and organize some things. And it was like, since Carl's so analytical and you're just like a fly by the seat of your pants, I don't know, it was perfect, right? It was perfect. And so you're analytical is what I'm saying, and kind of weigh the pros and cons and sort of have some more insight of why a decision might be good, but you sort of lean into my instinct that like, hey, let's do this, and this is why I'm thinking this is a good decision.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think like other big decisions now, like, we're gonna have our oldest going to college soon. That's gonna, I mean, while it's, a lot his decision, there's a lot of decisions that go into that are big and need to be purposeful. And I don't know. I mean, changing jobs, for instance, like
Yeah.
why it might affect one of us more than the other, obviously. It's, a little bit of a shuffle. But I don't know, it has seemed fairly seamless, and maybe it's because of our personality mesh with
Well,
that.
yeah, I think there's like certain things, so going back to like the original topics around compromise, like
Mhm.
there's a certain type of community and house and space that I want to live in,
Mhm.
and a lot of things that I don't want to live
Mhm.
in. So for me, like, that's not something I'm gonna compromise on. Like, I'm not gonna live in Manhattan's cool, but I'm not gonna live in the 12th floor of a Manhattan, condominium building.
Mhm.
Never. Like,
Mhm.
that's not how I want to live my life. But on the other hand, it's like, I'm not gonna fight you over keeping the toilet seat up because I don't give a shit. You want the toilet seat down. That means a lot more to you than it means to me.
Well, I'm glad you said that
So
about
I'm not going to fight that battle.
I'm glad you said that first thing because I feel like that was a big compromise that I made,
What's that?
which, living in a colder climate in a place that originally was like, there's no sidewalks or traffic lights in our community.
Or traffic.
Or traffic. That's a plus. It was sort of like I used to be more afraid of you dropping me in the middle of the woods versus the middle of New York City. Like, I'll take the gunshots, whatever. I know how to stay safe here versus like there's shit in this woods that I don't know how to tackle. And I have acclimated, but that was a little bit of a compromise. So thank you for the toilet seats. I think there's a few more things you compromise on. Uh, So can you remember a decision that you feel you compromised more? Yeah, I
That
just
I should
explained
have.
this. Well, no, not that you should have, but like we did the where we're living. Like you saw this house and it's reminiscent, I'm sure, of your childhood home in many ways. And you're like, I love it here and this is it. And I could see that. And I was willing to
This
compromise,
house,
but I felt like I compromised a little bit more.
this house has a pool.
It's awesome. I'm
It
not
has
complaining. I'm not complaining. Stop.
bedrooms for all of us. It has a dojo. It has a
Dojo.
world class podcast
Okay,
recording
okay.
studio.
The dojo, let's bring that down. That's just a nickname for one of the rooms.
No, it's a dojo.
No,
If you say
a
it's a dojo, it's a dojo.
dojo, don't you do martial arts in a dojo?
Maybe you don't do
I
martial
mean,
arts in the
no one's
dojo.
doing martial arts in here. No one's doing martial
Uh,
arts. But it's a great home. I'm not complaining, but I think I compromise a little bit more about where we set roots.
yeah, but
Ha-
you're
but
lucky that I let you here.
okay, okay. All right. I mean, in retrospect, I'm very happy. I'm
Yeah,
very happy. So, is there anything you feel like, oh, I compromised a little bit more on?
that I compliment.
Yes. I mean, I know, and not a little thing, not like, oh gosh, I had to put the toilet seat down
Folding the
every time.
towels, man.
Oh, stop. That's a dumb one. It has to be big. Big.
Well,
Like
it's
where I live.
yeah, but it's not just like one big thing. It's like 500 small things.
All right. All right. True.
No, I mean, well,
I won't fight you on that.
I mean, probably the biggest thing is like, just
Domestication.
decisions around like putting you know, our family and our home and our household. I don't know. Maybe it's not. I don't know. It's not really a good example because
Oh, I
that
feel
was
like
what
that's
I wanted.
I got what I wanted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but you know what I mean. Like, there's things where it's like, you know, I could go for that promotion,
Oh
but
yeah,
like
yeah,
we'd
yeah,
have
yeah.
to move
Yeah.
somewhere that I want to move or something like
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean,
No, that's true. That's true. But you don't want to move either. So part
no,
of that is a personal
the
decision.
older I get, the more I'm like, the
Yeah.
reason I've made these decisions is because
Yeah.
that's what is important to
Yeah.
me.
And I think we've gotten very fortunate in with our professional opportunities given where we
Absolutely.
live. So that's
Absolutely.
good. And then the last thing I'm curious about is, our kids are getting older and they have a lot more autonomy and they're going to need to make big decisions themselves. So, in what ways do you think you have included them in big decisions to compromise to their wishes?
Uh, hmm. I mean, I try to respect my kids' like strengths and weaknesses and,
Mhm. Development.
like what they're truly interested in. It's like, um, I've always been very conscious of like not wanting to like drive the kids too hard on certain things, like, not being the driving them to something that is valuable to me that they may not care as much about,
Mhm.
and it's a hard line because you want them to know, like, first of all, if you work hard at something, like, you can achieve it,
Mhm.
and you might really value that and feel good about yourself, but like, also, am I driving you to achieve that because it's something that I would like
Yeah.
to be good at, or for you to be good at? So I think that's always a tough thing as a parent, is like dividing that line.
Mhm.
Um, so I think that I try to take their cues on, like, is this something you really want?
Yeah.
And also maybe give some tough love sometimes when it's like, you say this is something you really want, but you're not willing to put in the work,
Mhm.
which it's okay. Maybe that's a sign that you don't really want that thing, that your
Yeah.
desire
That's
really
their decision.
was, like, I think
Mhm.
that's part of growing up and maturing,
Yeah.
is there's things where you're like, oh, I really want to be this. And it's like, and then, you realize, like, it was this idea I had in my head.
Mhm.
And once I like got a little older, I was like, that wasn't as important to me as I thought it was.
Yeah. Well, I think there is something to say about honoring their decisions, sort of emphasizing that they have choice and autonomy, but being clear of like what are the consequences and things to consider that they might not recognize. But ultimately, like, okay, there's a decision. And I mean, no one loves a natural consequence more than me, whether it's good or bad. So
Yeah,
highlighting that, not in an I told you so kind of way, but just in a like reflection way.
yeah,
So I think that's good. I am having a time stepping back enough, when it comes to our son in college because there are so many things you have to accomplish. And it does relate, to my work and, all the tuition things. And so I might need you to be like, okay, that's overbearing because things will ramp up.
yeah. Well,
And I just don't
I
want
mean,
him to get into a
going back to
situation.
managing certain people need to be
Oh,
poked and held accountable.
totally.
And
But I won't be able to
yeah,
once he's launched. And
yeah,
so I want him to suffer a consequence, but also not like, oh, I missed the
yeah.
application deadline or I wish I had done this. And I'm like, ugh, you know?
I think it's with kids and especially teenagers, like there's times when they're so smart and so impressive and so competent.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other times
I
when it's
know.
like, you're like, you literally don't know how to do this thing. So it's like, today, and it's not like something he would have known how to do anyway, but like I
Yeah.
walked our son through, kind of tuning his bike chain.
Yeah. Which is
And,
awesome.
it was like, he was like, I don't know what to do with this stuff. I was like, I had a wire brush, a WD-40, a rag, and silicone. And he's like, I don't know what to do with this stuff. I'm like, I'm going to walk you through it.
Yeah.
Just do exactly what I said, and he's like, well, and I said, you should get a chair. And he's like, why? How long is this going to take? And I'm like, it's
Oh,
going to take
gosh.
15, 20 minutes. Like, he's like,
Yeah.
oh, and I'm
Yeah.
like, but if you want to ride a bike and own a bike and take care of it,
Yes.
like these are
This
things you have
is
to do.
well, and more, what I want to say what's frustrating about that is they have at their fingertips a very powerful educational device, which I don't use for that
It
purpose.
drives me crazy.
It drives me crazy. You
Yeah.
know how many times I use my phone to look up how to do this,
Yeah.
where to find that, clarifying information. Like that is its real value and purpose. And they don't freaking use it. They don't even use it for a phone. Like he never answers his text messages for me. That might be on purpose, but like it just pisses me off. Like, I don't know how to do this. Like, what would you do if I dropped you in the middle of nowhere? You'd either try to find someone you could ask, where's this? Where's that? That's why I'm like, God, you need to launch, sucker. You need
Yeah.
to launch.
Yeah.
Or you've got this incredible opportunity to learn how to do it with step by step instructions, likely through a video, because
Yeah.
there's so much media, helpful, informational media that you probably don't look at. And if it was about a video game doing a certain move, you would be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to totally go to YouTube. But cleaning my bike chain, that can't exist. And that's what frustrates me because we did not have that.
Yeah.
We had to be a little bit more scrappy and resourceful.
Yeah.
And our parents and grandparents even more so.
Well, and there's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of things like the number of things, the true heroes of the internet are the people who post videos on how to fix things.
Yeah. Oh gosh, bless their
Like
hearts. It's amazing.
the number of times that I have come across something that's happened in our house. I remember it was like where our dryer crapped out, the first dryer we had in
Oh
this
yeah.
house.
Yeah.
And it was like, fortunately, it was one of those old dryers where you could get parts and work on them. You can't do that with ours now.
It's too fancy.
But it was like I was like, oh my God, this thing's shot and I don't have any money.
Yeah.
And I go on YouTube and it was like, nope, you just need to buy this $20 part. And here's how to, and it was not an easy job. I had to pull the thing out,
Yeah.
like unhook everything and, kind of tear it apart. But I did it and it was like 48 hours later, the dryer was back online and boom.
Yeah.
And,
We couldn't get a repair person
I
out
wouldn't have
that
had
soon.
any idea how to do that without being able to look it up on
Yeah.
the internet.
Yeah. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, I cook recipes all the time. I mean, holes torn in the wall. I know how to patch it now. Like so many great things. So
They'll learn.
they'll
One day.
learn. I
One day
know.
they'll learn.
They'll learn. Okay. So now that we're at the end, what are you still chewing on?
Um, that I don't know who wears the pants in this relationship.
We both wear a leg. What does
We
that mean?
both wear, yeah, it's like a 3-legged race.
Yes,
Yeah.
but maybe have like a pant leg and half a skirt. Do you have half a skirt too?
Maybe it's more of a kilt.
Oh,
Actually,
sweet.
if we just wore like a kilt together
Yeah.
for a 3-legged race, that'd be,
Okay, and the shorts underneath.
yeah.
Because I don't want to flash people.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a kilt.
Okay. Jointly wearing pants, as I understand the metaphor.
Yes.
Good with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you find relatively ordinary? Anything?
I mean, compromise is
Yeah,
sort of the
part of life.
part, the
It's
art of,
part of functioning
yeah,
life.
it's a part of society,
Yeah.
civilization.
Hmm.
And I think ultimately humans are very good at compromise.
Some
It's
better
just
than others.
some better than others, but compromise doesn't always lead to the best outcome.
This is true. I will say, I like that you mentioned it was an art and a science. Or no, you said it was a craft well, it
Well,
was
Ben Affleck
Ben
said that.
Affleck said
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming on the podcast
Craft.
next episode, I
Oh,
think.
that would just
Yeah.
throw our numbers
Yeah.
over the top.
Yeah.
No, but I think there's a lot of things that are an art and a science. And I would also say what we didn't really talk about is if you were an overcompromiser. I tend to be a people pleaser. And so if you overly compromise, then you can get resentful. But, that might be for another show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a shrink.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, that's for a shrink. Not that I overcompromise. You know me. Depends on my counterpart I'm dealing with. I don't overcompromise with you. I'll push and push
Yeah.
and push and push.
No.
All right. Well, good show. And our goal is to be back before another 2 weeks passes.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can do it.
Yeah.
That's my compromise.
Good.
Okay. Nice work.
That was a bad high five. Yeah.
Yeah.
Much better.